All right. We ready to get them started. We ain't gonna have no music today, y'all, but that's all right. Huh? Let's see. All right. Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to WHGE 95.3 FM. You are tuned in time for The Open Eye. I'm your host, Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist. We had a little technical difficulties, but we're working on it. Matter of fact, we're not going to let that stop us. No, nothing stop us. Yes, the Nsoromma is in the house getting set up. All right. I guess y'all wondering, hey, where's my third eye optometrist? My mind needs some operating on. Don't worry, me and my intellectual surgeon are right here for you. That's where we get ready to get them going, get ready to get them started. All right. Let me pull my notes on out. Since we're not going to have my theme music today, that's all right. That's all right. You didn't tune in for the theme music? No way. You tuned in to get your third eye open. I got you. Don't you worry about it. And we're going to move right on into our show. All right. Let's see. Let me take a look here where I'm going to start. Okay. Now, first thing I'm gonna do. This is what is the date? The day is the 4th of February. All right. And we get Nsoromma getting me set up over there. All right. And as we know, February is what? Black History Month. That's right. I had almost decided, because of the exploitation and the pandering that goes on during Black History Month, I had almost decided to just go ahead and forego even mentioning Black History Month, only in passing. I was going to do something near the end of the show, like say, oh, yeah, and by the way, happy Black History Month. But then I thought about it, and I said, you know what, this is for us, all right? And I know I've heard one quote where I heard somebody say that Black History Month was for white people to learn about their history. No, I don't agree with that. Black History Month was for us to learn the history at home and from institutions, black institutions, that we were not allowed to learn in school. And right now, there is a war on Black History Month. That is for sure. All right. And for those of you that say, they gave us the shortest month of the year, cut that crap out. Good morning, Nsoromma, my brother, my intellectual surgeon. All right.
Wagwan world.
Wagwan.
Just getting set up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. We making it happen.
That's right.
Yeah. Don't. Ain't gonna stop us.
Whoa, bring it back, boys.
That's word. Now, the precursor to Black History Month was created in 1926 in the United States, when historian Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History announced the second week of February to be Negro History Week. That's where it started. It was started by Carter G. Woodson, the great historian. I think Carter G. Woodson... What's going on? I don't know what's up there. I hear you on there, Tony. But I will catch you later. All right. Like I was saying, Carter G. Woodson, he chose February because the month contained the birthdays of both Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, two prominent men whose historical achievements African Americans are already celebrating. All right. And I know, me personally, I don't celebrate nothing about no Abraham Lincoln, because I know he was a white supremacist.
He said the radio going in and out.
Oh, word? Okay. Well, tune in on Facebook, sister. You get the whole damn show. Huh?
Can we hear? Cut the volume up so we can hear ourselves in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See that?
You know what? I ain't got it on the
Cut
thing.
it down.
Let me see. Let me get it on here.
Cut it down.
Whoa. Okay. All right. All right. Let me turn that down some. Okay. All right. Yeah. We cool.
Good now?
Yeah.
We good now, Tony?
All right. Let's see. Now you're talking to your mic. You said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, Tony, we good now? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We good now.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, like I was saying, I don't celebrate or having your admiration for Abraham Lincoln. And let me tell you why Carter G. Woodson did what he did. This is a quote from him. He said, "Those who have no record of what their forebears have accomplished lose the inspiration which comes from the teaching of biography and history." All right?
Okay.
You have no record of what your forebears accomplished. You lose the inspiration to mirror those accomplishments. See, my thing is this when it comes to history.
Yeah.
I understand we celebrate history, as a celebration of our accomplishments, a recognition of the dark things that our people went through. What I suggest to you is you study our history not only to learn what happened in the past and make sure that the past doesn't repeat, but to learn what made our ancestors great and apply the philosophies and techniques that they used to build civilizations. All right. For instance,
that secret is integrity, love, and dedication.
And there you go. Say that again, Nsoromma.
Integrity, love, and dedication.
That's what
they have for each other, and that's how they grew And what they do now is whitewash our history so bad that it takes the main ingredients out. You know what I'm saying? And we end up with this wild, savage attitude. And that's what's really hurting us the most.
How about that? Well, one of the group of people that took Nsoromma, that was an example what Nsoromma said, was the Axum Empire of Africa. Now, the Axum Empire was an important military power and trading nation in the area that is now Eritrea and northern Ethiopia, existing from approximately 100 to 940 AD. 100 to 940 AD. That means that empire was around for 800 years. America has been around, close to 250 years. All right. The thing is, after only 250 years, America is in decline. And it's in decline because the American leaders are cracked. All right. Now, at its height, the Empire Axum, it was one of only 4 major international superpowers of its day. The African nation, one of 4 major international superpowers, along with Persia, Rome, and China. Axum controlled northern Ethiopia, Eritrea, northern Sudan, southern Egypt, Djibouti, western Yemen, and southern Saudi Arabia, totaling 1.25 million square kilometers. All right, and you can say miles so you understand, because I know y'all Western people don't understand the metric system or whatever. Anyway, it was almost half the size of India. And India is a subcontinent, damn near a continent. Axum traded and projected its influence as far as China and India, were coins minted in Axum. They were using coins, were discovered in 1990. Axum was previously thought to have been founded by Semitic-speaking Sabaeans, who crossed the Red Sea from southern Arabia. BS, they were not Semitic-speaking Sabaeans, they were Africans, all right? But most scholars now agree that when it was founded, it was an indigenous African development. That's just one of the many empires that, that our people grew. Now, I gotta get back to. I'm gonna deal with.
I got a question.
Sure.
If You say America is 200 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is slavery 400 years old?
Oh, because slavery was in place even before America was a country. You know, they came here, the Europeans came here with kidnapped Africans as early as like 1619 is recognized as the earliest day of slavery, even though it probably dates back really to like the 1500s. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to state that because, you know, that'd be the question sometimes in the air. So I wanted you to elaborate on that a little bit.
Right. No problem, bro. More than happy to elaborate.
Right.
That's word. Now, during the 50s and 60s and what have you, there was a time, and the 70s, it was a time of awakening
Right.
for black people, okay? And even though they became really popular in the 50s, 60s, or whatever, all right, black-owned bookstores, okay, was a gathering place for our people. In Harlem, Malcolm X, and I can't remember the name of the bookstore, but Malcolm X often spoke in front of bookstores, and so did a lot of other, black voices and what have you during that time. All right, don't think this went unnoticed by the powers that be. And the reason I bring that up is because there's a war on our history right now. All right, being led primarily by Governor DeSatan in Florida, all right, who has done everything he can. You know, as a matter of fact, he said that black history has no educational value. Well, if you're a white supremacist, racist bastard, of course it doesn't. You know?
I mean, just think. When you're at war, right, they come in, they get rid of all the evidence that show and recognize you for being you.
Right.
And the first thing they do is burn all the books.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of them burning the books now, they're just trying to just take them out.
Yes.
Don't even put these over here.
Right.
You know, and this is the mainstream of the right to knowledge. You got God-given right to knowledge to grow your brain. Can no one stop you from growing your brain? But that's what they're trying to do. I mean, whether you want to learn Asian, Japanese, whatever your history may be. Now, we as a people have to go to that dude's house and knock on his door and let him know the way we feel, because that's not being done. We have to step up. We have to stand up. We have to protect ourselves. They know that we don't do that. So they try to do things to us to brush it under the... Man, they ain't doing nothing to us. They're scared. You know? They're scared. And that's what it is, you know? And that fear has to leave. If it don't, we're always going to be pushed around, shoved around.
You know what? On the other side of your greatest fear is your greatest accomplishment.
Right.
All right? Don't let fear control you. All right? And don't get it mixed, okay? Because fear is a natural thing. The thing that makes you courageous is moving forward in spite of the fear.
Right. Fear doesn't mean necessarily you're wrong.
Right.
You understand?
Right, because
you have the right
good damn
to
sense.
do things that may fear you. But you have the right, and you're supposed to do them things.
Right.
And that's the only way you get over the fear.
That's it.
You know?
Action is what defeats fear. You'll sum it up with Nsoromma said. Now, in the spring of 1968, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover announced to his agents that COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program established in 1956 to supposedly combat communists, should focus on preventing the rise of a black messiah who sought to unify and electrify the black militant nationalist movement. Okay, the program, Hoover insisted, should target figures as ideologically diverse as the Black Power activist Stokely Carmichael, later Kwame Ture, Martin Luther King Jr., and Nation of Islam leader Elijah Muhammad. Now, just a few months later, in October of '68, Hoover penned another memo warning of the urgent menace of a growing black power movement. But this time, the director focused on the unlikeliest of public enemies, black independent bookstores. Mm-hmm. In the one-page directive, Hoover noted with alarm a recent increase in the establishment of black, what he called extremist bookstores, which represent propaganda outlets for revolutionary and hate publications and cultural centers for extremism. Okay? Of course, anytime we do anything for ourselves, okay, the mainstream white supremacy of this country considers it extreme, right? Because they fear us, you know.
But they fear us, and we're not the murderers. We're not the hangers. Mm-hmm. We're not the people that drag, innocent people behind the trucks and all these outrageous criminal things that is said. We're not that people that do that, and I don't understand it, man.
Well, I'm going to tell you what it's about. Dr. Francis Cress Wilson explains it to us, okay? In order to commit genocide against indigenous people in Africa, North and South America, and Asia and other places, all right, the European had the gun, all right? We as black people are the only people that can genocide you or your society without a gun. Why is that? How is that possible? All right? Well, the way that's possible is because our genes are the strongest genes in the world. All right? We are the only people that can mate with another race and produce a black person. Okay? Any other people that mate with a black person, the offspring is going to be black. Two white people cannot produce a black person. Two black people can produce a white person. Further than that, and this is where the fear comes in, we can come into your society and brown it up. Okay? If you keep on messing with us and keep mating with us, it's going to be the browning of your society. By 2050 in America, white people are going to be the minority because white people keep getting involved with black people and other races, keep getting involved with black people, and the offspring are going to be us.
I mean, but if the original man was black, then they came from us anyway. So, I mean...
Yes, sir. The only way that white people can produce more white people is they have to mate with other white people. The only way Asian people can produce more Asian people is they have to produce with more Asian people.
That's why they say so adamant at mating with their own race. So they can keep creating that pure.
So that so-called pure bloodline,
right?
Okay, I mean, because at this point, all right, and because of our history,
right?
Okay, most Europeans have some
1%.
Yeah,
every European have 1%,
at least 1%,
right,
of African DNA.
So how are we able to call them white if they got 1%? They're black.
Well, that's a social construct.
But they don't accept it for themselves.
No,
that's why. You understand?
Did you ever see? It was on. It wasn't Oprah. It was
Jane Elliott.
No, it was on a talk show.
Okay.
Where this white dude wanted to buy this town in the Midwest.
Okay.
And make it pure white.
Okay.
And he agreed and submitted to taking the DNA test. Oh, sookie, did he mess up there? Because what he found out was he was not pure white.
Okay.
And then he had 5% of sub-Saharan African blood. Sub-Saharan African DNA. Yeah, but, well, let me tell you, the director ordered each bureau office to locate, identify black extremists and or African-type bookstores in its territory,
right,
and open separate discrete investigations on each to determine if it was extremist in nature. And, of course, they decided that it was extremist in nature, and they would find out the identities of the owners and what have you. And perhaps most disturbing, who were wanted the Bureau to convince African American citizens, presumably with pay or through extortion, to spy on these bookstores. And you know what? Unfortunately, we had some sellouts that was willing to do it.
Because the number one thing come into effect, which is money, U.S. currency, which is fiat, and they think it's everything.
Yeah.
They put that before the integrity, and the unity. They put that before the real ingredients. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the ingredient.
That's what
money is not the ingredient.
No, it isn't. Money is a tool. If you know how to use that tool, you can make a lot of things happen. And you know what? And interesting that I said that, because it makes me think of the way I've seen some really successful people operate, and they use other people's money. It's you got to be hip to the game to do it, but they do it. And at the height of the Black Power movement, the FBI conducted investigations of such black booksellers as Louis Michel. That was the bookstore that Malcolm X spoke in front of. Louis Michel in Harlem. There was Una Mozak in New York City. Paul Coates in Baltimore. And for those of you that the Coates name may sound familiar, he's the father of the Atlantic national correspondent Ta-Nehisi Coates. There were other bookstores and what have you. And the list is almost certainly far from complete, because most FBI documents pertaining to currently living booksellers aren't available to researchers through the federal government through the Freedom of Information Act. They won't turn some of that stuff loose. And that's how the book, the Spook Who Sat by the Door, got banned. Actually banned. The book and the movie were actually banned because of the fear of white people. Now, as I said, had mentioned how we use money. All right? And most people don't understand money. I don't think people fully understand how much a billion is. If your salary was $100,000 with no tax, it would take you 10 years to become a million. But 10,000 years to reach a billion. So, it's really unethical. All right? And Tupac spoke to this. It's unethical for one person to be hoarding this much money when others can't eat. And look up Tupac's quote on that. That's where
he was really for the people. He wasn't just about the money.
He wasn't just about the money. That's right.
He would do things to help you.
Yes.
Whether you liked it or not. As me working for you. If I got this position and I can help a fellow brother, because you're not my brother, you just making money with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You really don't care about me. You just, doing what you do to get this financial stability that you need for your family. And that's how the money game works. And if you ain't producing within that, you either laid off, fired. I mean, this thing, consequences come behind not having it or not being able to perform your duties. You know what I'm saying? So when you have real unity and real love, you can be down one day and your brother help you up, and then your brother be down the next day and you help your brother up.
And that's how that works.
Right. And
that's how that works.
That's the way our community used to live.
Right.
So we didn't need any money.
Outside of our community.
Outside, right.
That's where,
now that's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, in very few places.
Right. I mean,
there's
it's hard
spots and what
to
have
find
you here and there. And it's because they keep the people stupid to keep them mentally enslaved. See, that's why the American education system is crap. Because they only want you to learn enough to run the machine. Beyond that, they don't want you to know how the machine works and who put the machine in place and all of that. And
built the machine.
And who built the machine.
Man.
And, so many of y'all, especially amongst the white races, are stupid enough to fall into that trap. Okay? Now, here's the thing. If you wish to keep slaves, you got to have all kind of guards. And the cheapest way to have guards is to have the slaves pay the taxes to finance their own guards. See, now, this is how these people are cunning, man. All right? To fool the slaves, you tell them that they are not slaves and that they have freedom. Right? What is freedom? Freedom is owning your own time. If you don't own your own time, if you have to sell your time to eat and have shelter, you're not actually free. You tell them they need law and order to protect them against bad slaves. All right? And then who are the bad slaves? In their minds, it's black people. Then you tell them to elect a government, and you give them the freedom to vote, and they will vote for their own guards and pay their salary. All right? This is what's called financing your own damn oppression. Oh, and that's what we do. We are one of the biggest participants in financing our own oppression.
And the police, the police system make like $1 trillion a day.
Yeah, they make. Holy promoter. Okay, this is our emergency broadcast system kicking in on us. There's no emergency at this time, but I'm
we talking stuff and causing emergency. Black, it's only black history. That's it.
That's history.
Come on, man.
You know, damn. It's crazy. Well, you know what? Now, one of the things I had mentioned earlier was about the exploitation of, the celebration of Black History Month. Just like last month, during Dr. King's birthday, you had all these companies who hated Dr. King. The people running these corporations, like McDonald's is living the dream. What damn dream McDonald's living?
I mean,
with no pickles?
I just told you that money bull, that money nigga flips.
That's right.
And I was thinking about this also. Why is it only a Black History Month? It's not a White History Month, an Asian History Month, a Japanese History Month. It's no other History Month except Black. Well, and why is that?
Well, because
I think it's only a month. It's Black History Life.
We absolutely agree with that because we talk about our history all year long. Okay, but the reason, of course, that there's a Black History Month is because the dominant society has done, like you said earlier, everything they can so that we don't know who we are, so that we have no idea about our history. It makes me think of, what's his name? Morgan Freeman.
Right.
When Morgan Freeman says, he my man. But he got up and said some dumb-ish.
What did he say, man? I ain't hear.
Well, we don't need Black History Month. We don't need, because Black history is American history. Yeah, well, that's true. Black history is American history because without Black people, there would be no America. Okay?
Well, your boy told him the truth about that. Trump stood up and said Black people is finally getting the credit for all that they did, So if you got the president acknowledging you now, you know what I'm saying, which no president really has done ever.
Well, they all had paid some lip service to it, which is basically what the Orange Disaster.
Orange Disaster came out and he was running it. He was not playing.
Yeah, well, broken clock is right twice a day. I don't put a whole lot of store in the Orange Disaster saying something right or telling some truth. Out of 40,000 lies, he tell one truth.
But
I'm not impressed.
If it's the truth, it's the truth.
Yeah, if it's the truth, it's the truth. But like I was saying about the exploitation and the symbolism with no substance, case in point, of all places, all right? And I had to hold my tongue on this one because I thought it was crazy. Have you seen what Miami, and I think it's another city that did, it might have been Columbus, I'm not sure, had done to their police cars?
No.
Oh, they pimped out their police cars for Black History Month. They customized. They made them red, black, and green, and gold, and what have you. You ask one of them police riding around in that car, what the hell does the red mean and the red, black, and green? They don't have no idea the red stands for blood. The black, of course, stands for the people. The green stands for the land. You know, and when you had the red, black, green, and gold, the gold stands for the gold standard.
Right.
That of the societies that our people have produced. That these fools, you know, look, while police and violent killings of Tyree Nichols and Anthony Lowe are still fresh in people's mind, all right, Miami police thought it was the perfect time to celebrate Black History Month, unveiling a Black History Month themed police cruiser. So y'all went and spent some money painting up a police cruiser, okay? Does that mean that y'all gonna stop coming up in our neighborhoods and murdering us and what have you?
No, that means they just coming up in there with soul.
Yeah. You know? Meanwhile, in other news, Wile E. Coyote was recently spotted out in public in full Roadrunner appreciation gear. Elmer Fudd covered his new rifle with I Heart Bug stickers to honor the Wascally Wabbit. All right? Get the hell out of here. Apparently, the unveiling of the Pandering Popo mobile took place in a historically black neighborhood and was meant to celebrate black cops who endure racism or some crap like that. You know what? Y'all could go to hell. Ooh. Give a damn about y'all painting up some police car while y'all running around murdering black people.
Definitely. That's terrible. And that's, I mean...
And we're going to come back to the police because, you know, we got some stuff going on.
Okay, but...
All right. But we all heard of organ harvesting.
Oh, yeah, man. There's a lot of that going on.
A lot of that going on. You know, a lot of people turn up missing. And then they're gone. You know, and why they turn up? Because it's part of organ harvesting. Well, you know, the government does not like illegal things going on, and they don't get their cut.
I need my cut.
They need their cut.
That's right.
So, in Massachusetts, a bill was presented to reduce prison time in exchange for donated organs.
So you mean to tell me that I go, excuse me, boy, I'm ready to get out of here. I ain't gonna do this whole 20. Look, won't you take a liver and I get out in 2 years instead of 10? Here you go, deal.
Yeah,
I got that.
That's right.
Yo,
now the dark side of that, okay?
Hold up. Let me finish. Let me get that off my first, Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Come on.
Listen now, according to Boston.com, incarcerated people who donate bone marrow or organs could have their sentences reduced by 2 months to a year under HD, that's House Bill 3822, a bill introduced to Massachusetts State House last month by Democratic state reps Carlos Gonzalez.
The one that's messing up America right now. I mean, it's no secret. Democratic or Republican, that's the same coin.
That's right.
Either way it goes,
two sides of the same coin.
Exactly.
You know, Gonzalez said he hopes to increase the odds of survival for one of his friends, a father of 3, who's on dialysis and has stage 4 renal failure. All right, that's kidney failure, basically. And anyone else who may be in a similar life or death situation. All right. Well, that sounds all well and good. You know, if a prisoner can reduce his time by giving up a kidney, well, and it's going to save somebody's life, that sounds like a wonderful thing. Until you get into the dark side of this thing. All right. Your ass ain't getting out of prison until we get some bone marrow, fool.
Mr. Gibbs. Mr. Gibbs.
Yes.
Mr. Gibbs. Listen.
All right.
First of all, bone marrow is priceless on the market.
Yeah.
So a liver is something like $250,000.
Yeah. The thing about that is,
and each part gets higher, right?
Right.
And they only gonna give you 2 months
to a year.
Work for work.
Yeah. Work
in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
You know, and of course,
wow.
You can't donate a liver and live through that. You only got one liver. All right? All right? So, you know.
We just need a piece of it.
Yeah, you know, maybe some of it will grow back. You know,
man.
Or, you know, they get the ordering.
Listen to these bills that these people try to create. This is the insane thinking that's like being proposed.
Right. And look, and here's the thing, you know, they say in this bill that's being proposed, right? If passed, it would create an organ and bone marrow donation program within the Massachusetts Department of Corrections that would be run by a committee of officials, experts in organ donation and defenders of prisoners' rights. BS.
Listen, though.
Yeah.
I'm innocent. I ain't supposed to be here. And you trying to take what the
And they said that the Department of Corrections, they would not profit from these donations. Instead, the institutions would benefit and would cover all the expenses. Well, damn, you're going to take my kidney and then, you know, how generous are you to cover the expenses? Oh, my goodness.
And you're going to get a butcher hacker.
Yeah.
A butcher hacker doctor surgeon.
And I ain't going to live through it. So now that you took my one kidney.
One part. Oh, well, he ain't making it. We need this eyeball. These 3 fingers. What about the ankle, Bob?
Take his heart. Let him take his heart. He ain't lived through this anyway, you know?
Oh,
so
God.
Don't give a damn if you innocent or not. We going to get your ass.
Did you see that movie that they did like that? Where they was picking black people out at the white party, and they was
taking their organs.
Yeah, taking their organs and their hearts. It was the movie. Is it dumb? What is it? Somebody tell me. Come on, tell me the movie that was. You know what I'm saying?
Was it Get Out or something?
Get Out. That's
Get
what
Out?
it was.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was Get Out. Get Out. That was their concept.
Yeah.
That was the the movie treatment of putting that movie together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know just what you're saying, bro.
And they putting it in front of us. That's what they was having rich elite parties to pick out who they wanted.
Yeah.
Like a slave trade type thing. Yo,
see, I saw this white girl on TikTok. She said, if I invite you to the picnic, will you come as a black person? No. Hell no. Because I know what picnic means.
Right.
All right. And what picnic, where the term came from, in spite of, you know, some people that want to, you know, make the term, it came from a French word for picnic or some fancy crap. BS. It came from pick a ninja, and who they're going to celebrate lynching and barbecuing and eating. Yeah, how sick these people are.
That's terrible.
No, I know. I ain't coming to your damn picnic. And you can't come to the cookout with your raisin-infested potato salad. Stay your ass on with that crap. That's word.
Yo, is that roaches?
You know?
Roaches and potato salad?
I'm telling you.
Yo.
Yeah, buddy.
Stupid.
Yeah. Well, of course, we gotta get back to the Tyree Nichols murder by the what we thought were 5 black police officers that killed him. No. Yeah, the 5 black police officers were involved in it.
What about the white boy?
And that's it exactly.
But it was white boy involved.
It was a white boy involved. Ain't nobody said nothing about him. They don't even want to talk about it. They tried to hide it. And remember, the chief of police is a black woman. All right? The thing is, she messy. Oh yeah, she real messy. All right, because let's take a look at this lady.
Okay.
All right, this Negro peeing bitch.
Oh, okay. I thought you was gonna go in on
Sherlyn Davis.
Sherlyn Davis.
Yeah,
okay.
She is the chief of police Memphis, Tennessee, and she was the one that got on and said, listen, we're going to put the tape out. We're going to put the video out, but we need you to stay calm because it's rough. And we understand that people are going to feel some kind of way about this. All right? This is not who the Memphis police are, and I want you to know that. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. This is exactly who they are. All right? The fact that you tried to hide this white boy, what's his name? Hemful? I got his name around here somewhere. That's
I don't know his name, but
yeah,
he wasn't mentioned. He was a white guy.
He wasn't mentioned.
Right.
They didn't want to mention him. Okay? And he kicked Tyree Nichols in the head a couple of times. Oh, he took his gun and jammed it several times into his groin. He kicked him upside the head. And why ain't this white dude, this Officer Hemphill, why wasn't he arrested with the rest of the murderers? Where's his mugshot? Where's his mugshot? Because he was in on that too. And then come to find out there may have been another white dude, another white race soldier, or as they call him, police officer, that was also in on that. But they just arrested the 5 black dudes. All right, and gonna cover up the white dude. This is from now.
Why do it need 5 police officers to lock you up? And why do they act like they gotta come out like they a gang?
Because that's what they are.
You get a hit, I get a hit. You get a hit, I get a shot. You get a shot, I get a shoot. Yeah, and that's the mentality they got when they arresting only black people. I don't see this in white people.
No.
I don't see this in the constitutional people that be pushing cops to the limit. I don't see them take them down, beat them up, or none of that. No. But when it's black people, it's always extra killing involved.
It's always extreme.
And that's what we as black people in the world has to be tired of and stand up against that there. If we're not standing up against that there, it's going to happen to your kid. And when they get to your house, and they get inside your home, and you're crying, not your neighbor, not your friend, not the other party living in the next state, but you, then you're going to want to do something about it.
Right.
Let's do it now. Let's do it before we get to your house.
Until it gets to your house or my house.
We can't wait. I can't wait for it to get to my house.
That's
so
right.
Y'all need to join in and don't wait for it to get to your house.
Be on the case now.
Because it hurts.
This Sherilyn Davis, all right? Oh, she a piece of work. See, when you have corruption at the top,
right?
All right, you're gonna have corruption in your troops. That's just how that works.
It's just corrupted.
Yeah. Because your whole culture, the whole mindset that you promote within the troops is corrupt. And this woman is corrupt. She was the commander of the Red Dog Squad in Atlanta, which did the same abuse in the black community. It's a black woman in the black community that the Memphis police did in the black community. She commanded a gang. Not only that, but this is how corrupt this chick is, all right? Check this out.
What's that?
All right?
What's that?
She interfered in a sex crime investigation that involved another officer's husband to protect them, all right? Sex crime, pedophilia. She protected a pedophile. And when it was finally found out, she was fired after 2 detectives revealed that she told them not to investigate the man who was accused of having images of himself with underage girls. All right? And this guy was Terrell Marion Crane. And Crane was the husband of Davis's co-worker, Tanya Crane. All right? And you know, like I said, she protected this. She tried to protect the child molester, but she got caught and she got fired. Okay? But of course, how corrupt the Atlanta Police Force is, they rehired her and allowed her to retire. That way she could move on and go to another police force, which she did in North Carolina. All right? And so more details are coming out linking the Memphis police chief to the city of Atlanta where she worked. Okay, when some people in Atlanta heard about the Scorpion Unit. The first thing they thought about was what I mentioned earlier, the Red Dog Unit. Okay, as of course, oh yeah, they killed Katherine Johnson. Oh wait a minute, yeah, Katherine Johnson was one of the victims of the police dog, or the Red Dog Unit. Okay, and of course it was Memphis Police Chief Davis, formerly of Atlanta, who formed the Scorpion Unit in 2021 after overseeing, like I said, a similar unit. And she defended the Scorpion Unit even after the killing of Tyree Nichols. She defended them. Oh, the Scorpion Unit is doing the right thing. And here was the crazy. Tyree Nichols was allegedly pulled over for reckless driving. Mm-hmm. Okay, you do not get a death sentence for reckless driving. And if you saw the video, and I hate to tell you to watch the video, but if you didn't watch the video, we wouldn't have known about the two white guys, all right? If you watch the video, they immediately came with aggression and hostility. Get your out of the car, and grab and yoke and, and start beating him immediately. All right? Now, you're being beat. Your thing is fight or flight. All right? And if you're a sensible person and you see the odds are against you, you're going to take flight. And that's what Mr. Nichols did.
But my question is, if it was anybody else coming to you at that hostile rate,
Mm-hmm.
you would respond by fighting.
Of course.
So if I'm expecting you to come to me and you're supposed to protect and serve,
Mm-hmm.
but you're coming to me to kill and strangle
Mm-hmm.
mode,
Mm-hmm.
when you get out the car without knowing nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and you're on that mode, now I'm supposed to have the right to defend myself, whether you got that badge on, that uniform
That's
on,
right.
whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately supposed to have that right. Now, if I pulled out a pistol and laid them on bolt and started having a gunfight out there,
Mm-hmm.
would I been the wrong one? Would I been put in the wrong? Of course, because they say they got the badge on.
Right.
But just because they got the badge on, that don't mean you can't have rogue cops under them badges.
Yeah,
and that's what they are.
That's
so
what they
if
are.
they're not protecting, they are protecting the police.
Mm-hmm.
They're not protecting you. When things go down and it's between you and the police officer, the government protects the police.
Oh, yeah.
They don't think about you.
Oh, no.
Okay, so they still on the side of that rogue person that was after you to do whatever was done.
That's right.
So if you ain't defending yourself against that rogue person, so they can't be here to explain, and not you, we always gonna have them deaths, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, of course, the Memphis police are facing growing criticism after reports reveal footage of the deadly beating of Tyree Nichols contradicts the official police report. There was no reckless driving. He did not try to grab anybody's gun. He actually wasn't even defending himself because it was 5 people and the blows were coming fast and heavy. So what he did was he got up from there and hauled ass to try to get away from them. They ran him down. Let me tell you something. And killed him. They beat him to death. Do you have any idea how horrific it is to be beaten to death? It's one thing to be shot to death. Boom, bam, shot, it's over.
Right.
If somebody beating you to death, you're in fear.
Most people can't take a smack in the face.
You got 5 to 7 people stomping and kicking you
with steel-toe boots on. And they got tactical gear.
Yeah.
Everything they wear is tactical. Their gloves got metal plates in them and steel metal pieces that when they hit you, you're going to break. They're breaking something.
That's right. And let me tell you something. The next person that I roll up on that tells me Tyree Nichols was soft for hollering for his mama when he was being murdered and in more pain than he ever seen in his life, I'm going to slap you in your mouth and make you holler for your mama because you have no idea what it's like to go through something like that when you can see that your life is about to be taken. What's the first thing a child does when he's in trouble? Mom. And I ain't mad at you like that coming from a mama's boy, proudly so.
Listen, I don't play them games.
That's word. Oh, and don't forget, the Memphis Fire Department, okay, they came, one of the people from the Memphis Fire Department didn't even get out the damn car or the ambulance or whatever she was sitting in. And they sat there, the cops propped the man up against the car, and they all sat around and watched him demise. Y'all can go to hell, man. You kidding me?
Nsoromma, I ain't even go to booping on that one.
That's word.
You know what I mean? It's yo, man.
That's word. And let me tell you this right here. It's a quote from Sister Tracy Johnson.
Thanks, Tracy Johnson.
Yes, indeed. Why are we still tolerating this? Damn. They did a job on us. The psychological warfare against us is so sophisticated. We've been so desensitized that we release the outrage until the next murder. Instead of finally having enough of being murdered by the government, forget until the next temporary outrage. And that's what it is. You know, these things happen. We spend our anger and what have you protesting against this, you know, and when that anger is spent, we go home and go back to life as usual. Let me tell you something that you understand here. All right. Oh, and this is another thing I gotta bring up before. I don't know if you ever heard of Jason Whitlock.
Right. No, I can't say I have. Jason Whitlock.
Yeah, this is one sorry coon, Negro pen. He got on Fox News with the grand wizard of white male grievances, Tucker punk-ass Carlson, to express the most nonsensical, presumptuous, and of course anti-black opinion on the death of Tyree Nichols. Somehow, this fool heard the story in which 5 Memphis black police officers beat this black man to death, and he called out for his mother. And his reaction was to twist himself into a wannabe white nationalist pretzel and blame black on black crime and single black mothers for the incident. Let me tell you something. You one of them people, if I ran up on you, I'd slap you and make you holler for your mama, you sorry son of a bitch.
But you know he a comedian anyway. He ain't even a newscaster.
No. He's just a clown.
Yes.
You know,
you're a comedian, you're a comedian.
That's what
that is. But you know, certain jokes fly around certain people. Mm-hmm. You know. Mm-hmm. Then.
And you know, that's where let me tell you. Do you believe what I do with that? Well, let me tell you this right quick. All right. Since 2017, 1,353 black people have been killed by police.
1,053.
353 black people. All right.
Wow.
That's an average of 270 black people a year. All right. At the height of lynching,
how many white people got killed?
Well, you know what? I don't really clock that.
I mean, you should have did that to do the figures, to compare the figures.
To compare the figures, I feel you.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I feel you and understand what you're saying.
I feel you too. It's not a issue, but
it is.
I just thought that would have been more proper.
There it is. But anyway, right. Like I said, that's about 270 a year.
Okay.
Now, at the height of lynching, which was from 1882 to 1968, about 3,500 black people were lynched. Okay? That's from 1882 to 1968. I can't count that on my fingers, but over 100 years or close to 100 years. All right.
But look at the math of that.
Yeah.
They doing it now in a year. In 2 years, what they took 100 years to do by hanging.
You know? So it was about, like I said, it was about 42 a year. At the height of lynching, about 42 black people a year. Okay? That's a 500% increase. All right? Let that sink in. A 500% increase. Mm-hmm. You know, of course, we over time, but don't worry, ain't nobody coming right away. All right. The experience of black people in America is completely, absolutely, and totally unique. Blacks are the only non-immigrants in the country. All right? We're the only people that came here by dubious invitations, shall we say. Blacks are the only people who came here by force. No other people were packed in the holds of slave ships like cargo for months in filth and human waste, disease, millions being lost en route. No other people arrived on the American shore to see their women raped and defiled, their men stripped of their manhood and any semblance of dignity. No other people had their heritage, culture, religion, naming the most unifying force of any people, their language brutally beaten out of them by the slave master's lash. No other group of people suffered the horrors of plantation life, working from Kansas in the morning, excuse me, till Kansas at night, under the overseer's lash, being forced to watch the slave master hang a young pregnant slave woman from a tree by her feet, her swollen belly slashed open with a sword, and the unborn child brutally snatched from her womb, its head smashed on the ground. A common practice to instill fear in those enslaved. Okay? This is what we live through. No other people have been lynched, castrated, and mutilated. No other people have been systematically denied the right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in America but black people. And the statues on campus be watching me. Washington, Jefferson clocking me as if to say my time's up. But I don't run laps on tracks. I run laps around the scholars of tomorrow because their new school of thought are merely our history's borrowed. This is The Open Eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
And as we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you as an option. This has been The Open Eye. Thanks for joining us.
Yaga. Yo, and also, if you got somebody that you home taking care of and you need extra income and Medicaid is willing to pay, so yo, call this number and link up and see how Medicaid can help you. Or Medicare, sorry. Medicaid. No, Medicaid. It's one of them.
It's one of them.
It's one of them. Medicaid is what it really is. So if you got Medicaid and you need a little assistance, yo, hit them up. Care Home of Delaware. Yo, Nsoromma in the building. You dig? Hey, yo, thanks for tuning in because this is what y'all do with us. And I appreciate everybody hollering at us. Yeah, sharing, yo, Nuambe, yo, Sheila, yo, Catherine, hey, yo, Pat.
Hey, like my man Nsoromma said, thanks for joining us. Sorry for the little technical difficulties we had, but like we said, that's not going to stop us. That's not going to stop anything. Like I always tell you, remember this: global African supremacy. Peace.